Hi, my name is Frederick, and I often get the question, what camera should I buy? Well, I got 4 tips for you. Let's dive in right after the intro. In this video, I want to give you some guidelines when buying a new camera, and it won't be like brand specific, although I will mention some brands, but I'm not gonna propose any brands you should get. Consider what kind of projects you like to shoot. For example, a vlogging camera is gonna be easy to set up, has not too difficult interface, and might have some stabilization. Or if you're gonna shoot sports, you might need a small compact camera which is shock resistant and is also water resistant. Or do you need something particular like really good low light capabilities? What you also might consider is workflow compatibility. Maybe you work a lot with other people who already have certain brands, and maybe it is a good idea to follow that strategy. And then there's also the obvious choices, like if you need aerial photography or aerial footage, then obviously you need a drone. So according to your project or according to your style of shooting, you're probably gonna need a certain type of camera. There's no point bringing a really expensive, heavy camera on a run and gun situation. Start with what kind of project you like to shoot. Always consider a budget before buying a camera, because a camera is not the only thing that you need in your equipment bag to shoot a video. Obviously, if you just buy a small point and shoot, that might be enough, but mostly cameras have accessories like tripods, lights, sound, lenses that might be useful to you as well. If you spend too much money on the body, for example, then you won't have enough money left to do other things. Never neglect the audio in your videos. You probably have seen videos where the image quality is alright, but where the sound is really garbled or muffled or distorted, and that's just not a pleasant viewer experience. And people just will stop watching your videos. Now, clear audio is very important to convey your message clearly to your audience. For example, you can buy a wireless mic like I have one pinned on at the moment, or maybe you just even need external audio recording. I used to do that, for example, where my audio was not recorded by the camera because the camera couldn't handle it properly, and I recorded my audio with an external recorder. Audio can also have an emotional impact, so getting that audio just right is very important. Always consider your own skill level. Cameras have different complexities, and certain beginner cameras, for example, will have intuitive menus and easy to use buttons, while a professional camera might have a lot of more features, but they're way more complicated to use. Now, if the learning curve of using a camera is too steep, you will get a bad experience and you might stop shooting altogether. If the camera is too simple, it just might not have the features that you want for your professional shoot. So it's very important that you keep your skill level in mind. So these are the 4 tips when considering buying a camera. Now I'm going to give you some extra bonus tips, and these are more technical tips. And initially I didn't want to include this in the video, but when I buy new equipment, I take them into consideration anyway. So why not share them with you? Nowadays, a lot of cameras shoot 4K video. That is rather nice because it gives you the opportunity to have some flexibility while you're editing your footage. So with 4K you can rearrange your framing a little bit or zooming in a little bit, do a fake zoom for example, without losing too much detail and quality of the video. Especially when your delivery is Full HD, then you can use that extra resolution to use those editing tricks. The second one is color depth. Now you can have 8-bit cameras, 10-bit cameras, 12-bit, and the more bits you have, the more colors you're gonna have. Now, when you shoot and immediately publish your videos, then bit depth is probably not too much of a concern to you. But when you like to color grade stuff, then 10-bit gives a much nicer quality to your footage because you have less banding when you stretch the colors a little bit. Especially when you get blue skies, then having nasty color banding is not that great. So having that 10-bit available gives you the ability to color grade. So the third one is a controversial one, which is sensor size. Now, a lot of people have discussions about what sensor size is enough or what is preferred. And obviously you can have micro four thirds, 1-inch sensors, APS-C sensors, or even full frame. And they're all going to give a different quality footage, but getting bigger sensors means usually that you're going to pay more money. So do you really need that really big sensor? Well, most of the time you don't. I noticed that you can already get a long way with an APS-C sensor. And even the 1-inch sensor, although not great for bokeh, will give you very good results. And if you're a vlogger, for example, and have a Osmo Pocket 3 available, that's a 1-inch sensor and it works great for vlogging. So people are not too concerned with sensor size at that point. Now, obviously, if you want to have a lot of shallow depth of field, then a larger sensor is nice. But again, spending a lot of money just to get a large sensor might just not make sense. So don't fall for the trap of getting the really big sensors. It's usually not necessary. The fourth one is autofocus. When I got my first camera, I didn't spend much time researching autofocus because I wanted to manually focus my project anyway. So autofocus was just a gimmick that wasn't really needed. But again, when shooting vlogging style or you want to shoot quick videos of friends and family, then having out of focus picture is really annoying, and then a good autofocus system can be a real benefit. So again, it really depends on the project, and I have a couple of good autofocus cameras and I have a couple of bad autofocus cameras. But yeah, it depends on what I need, which camera I'm going to use. The fifth one is ND filters. I always look if a camera supports ND filters because it does give you a lot of extra capabilities when choosing aperture and ISO, especially on bright days. Now, cheaper cameras won't have that option, especially with built-in lenses. But if you have screw-on lenses, or even the Osmo Pocket 3, for example, has the capability of adding a filter to it. So yeah, that is something I always check when buying a new camera. And the last one is frame rate. Now, everybody likes to have 120 frames per second footage or even higher, but I must say that I prefer resolution over frame rate. So those are 6 things that I always look into. Now, they don't have to meet always the top criteria for me to get a camera. For example, the Nikon Z30 that I have doesn't fit all the criteria. It doesn't have 10-bit, it doesn't have 60 frames a second at 4K, for example. But it doesn't matter because the price, the value for money for that camera was really good. It was a sub 1,000 euro or dollar camera, and it just gives really good quality, has a good autofocus, and gives me nice enough footage to shoot YouTube videos. I also have more expensive cameras, but they are harder to set up. So if I want to shoot a quick video, I usually grab the camera that is easy and quick. These are all the tips I have for you when getting a new camera. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing. I'm trying to aim to get 1,000 subscribers this year in 2024, and your subscription might give me that boost to help me get there. And more subscribers mean I will do a bigger effort in getting more videos out. All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.